And welcome back to the Xfinity Desk. Elamite here, joined with T-Squared, and we just watched another epic Game 5 of Team Liquid defeating Luminosity 50-48.
I'm just curious if that guy with the gravity hammer's ever heard of a ground pound. You know, the guys,
I was thinking that
the
too.
guys
Why
below
would
you,
not go for
just
a ground pound
him.
Yeah. Is it different ground pound if you have the hammer?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But either way, lots of exciting action here still to come up, as our next match is going to be Team Allegiance battling Optic Gaming. Now, of course, we've talked about Team Allegiance time and time again. If anything, this is the closest team to being undefeated right now.
It really is. You have Contra, Devin, Falcated, and Shooter. And these guys, they have fantastic shots. Devin had a couple of rough times yesterday, running into his own grenade, pulling the 1G. And also, you know, they had some mishaps when they had the railgun, things like that. So let's see if they can clean it up. They can't afford to make any mistakes today against Optic Gaming.
All right, now let's take a little bit of a deeper look here at Contra, as Contra and Predominator were the duo that we've seen together for quite some time here in Halo 5. And then I was talking to him as well, and, you know, this was a player that, you know, if you ever saw those or heard people watching streams, then the players that press start on their menu all the time, you know, used to be, you could make an argument about, you know, reticle lag and things like that. Now, of course, it really doesn't do anything, but Contra, it's already a mental case for him.
Yeah, and Contra, he had the sniper yesterday in Plaza and wasn't able to do much with it yesterday. And if he's able to be a little bit more confident in where his teammates are going to be located, I think that that's going to be a big thing for this Allegiance squad. And again, Optic Gaming, this is the best team, even though they're ranked second right now, right behind Envious. It's still until someone proves otherwise and beats them in the actual finals. In my opinion, the team that won the previous final is going to be the best team this entire season, again, until proven otherwise. So we'll see how it's going to go. Again, Optic lost yesterday to Envy 3-2. They're going to be pretty upset. This isn't going to be easy for Allegiance. They're going to have to play the best they've ever played.
I couldn't agree more here. This is going to be a lot on the line as Optic Gaming versus Team Allegiance. Let's go ahead and take a look at the series layout and how these teams are going to be matching up. Games 1, 2, and 3. Fathom, CTF, Plaza Slayer, followed up by Empire Strongholds.
Ouch.
All three looks to be good game types, but yeah, Empire Strongholds for Game 3.
That's definitely Optic Gaming's stronger game types. That's going to be tough for Allegiance. So based on this map selection, I don't know if it's the best pull or best draw for Allegiance. Again, Plaza Slayer, we saw a little bit conservative play coming out from these guys on the Allegiance side. They're going to have to play a little bit more aggressive. They're going to definitely have to control Nest with that sniper, not try to rotate over towards blue or glass like they were in their previous match. Fathom CTF, though, that would be a good start for them. If they can walk away and make that one closer, at least pull off a win there, that's going to give them a lot of hope and momentum for this series.
Yeah, I mean, Optic Gaming is 0-2 on Fathom CTF right now, so if they have any chance of winning this series, they need to come out and take game number 1. Now, they are kind of even on Empire Stronghold, surprisingly enough, because Optic Gaming has dropped that game type twice. And just speaking of Optic Gaming, I mean, it's a whole other discussion this season. Like, prior season, they were the benefit, or you had to give them the benefit of the doubt to win every game type on every single map. It was only like really rigged strongholds where they had any sort of a ratio that was not essentially the best one in the league, but now it's just completely different.
Yeah, it's even though they haven't won it yet, it's still one of their stronger game types. But Allegiance has no slouches or no pushovers when it comes to strongholds either. They started off this season 5-0, and now they've lost a couple, and I think that they're sitting at like 5-2 or something like that. But it's still one of their stronger game types compared to CTF. So maybe they do have a chance going up against these guys, but it's going to start with game 1 in my opinion.
Right now, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the vetoes here to see exactly how these two teams decided to match up on these game types. And that's going to be Allegiance coming out and banning Truth right away, followed up by a Stasis banned by Optic Gaming. Kind of a little bit of unusuals. I mean, I like the Allegiance ban. Obviously, Optic Gaming is really, really good at Truth. But, you know, it's interesting that Optic always goes for that Stasis ban because I feel like that's their strong point as well.
Well, they don't want to play it because, you know, if they're playing from red side, then it has, you know, the advantage towards the blue side. But in terms of a CTF, this is great for Allegiance. I like that Truth ban. I like the Coliseum ban. You got to assume that Optic's already going to ban Stasis. That's what they've continued to do first time every single ban so far. And yeah, I mean, this is their best opportunity when it comes to a CTF map. I'm just a little bit worried for Plaza Slayer and Empire Strongholds for them. So again, it's always comes down to that first game against Optic Gaming. Very rarely will you let them win that first game and walk away with that series.
All right, capture the flag, Fathom. Now, we've seen Allegiance essentially kind of struggle a whole lot on capture the flags, where they were really dominant on the strongholds, but last week kind of just changed all that once again. It's hard to see the same kind of consistency from any of these teams. We haven't seen any kind of consistency since Optic Gaming last year. Like just the way these teams are able to miss these opportunities, the way Allegiance has been able to just fall in all of these game fives, and the envious off and on games that we've seen. Evil Geniuses especially being so good to essentially almost so bad at the same night, just depending on the day that they're playing.
I want to see what kind of beginning strategies these guys are going to come up with in CTF Fathom. We saw last game, we saw Nated go up towards top center with Spartan, and we didn't see anyone try to do the boost and try to slide up towards top center. I think that we're going to be seeing that from someone like Contra or Devin, and that could be a really nice start for them to try to get that map positioning and try to get that camouflage rate from the get-go. They're going to have to pull something out like that in order to stand this, withstand this Optic Gaming team, because Optic, again, after their loss yesterday to Envy, they're not going to want to drop any more games. They've already doubled the amount of losses that they've had from last season, which is only sitting at 2. They had an insane season last season. What was their overall record? 13-1 and something like that?
Yeah.
And that's just unheard of. And they weren't losing scrims or anything like that. So as soon as Envy beat them in that first scrim and almost doubled the amount of games that they won, that's when all these other teams have really started to get hope and feel like they can necessarily win. And if Allegiance is able to make this series close, even if they don't win, if they make it to game 5 or make it a 3-1 or anything, even if the games are close, that's going to show just how competitive this season's going to be, because this is an Allegiance team that's 1-4, sitting in 7th place right now, but they have lost so many game 5s that they could be, again, like you were saying, undefeated.
Yeah, not only that, but you got to keep in mind that these teams will all play each other twice during the regular season. The veto process and the game types that these teams will match up on will be much different the second time around, as the teams will be able to go back and look at the previous series history and use that when they're determining how they want to match up against the teams.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's all about the matchups here. It's all about who's going to play well against certain teams. And when I look at Allegiance's play style, I feel like Optic Gaming is going to be able to punish these guys, because they're a little bit passive on this Allegiance side. Now they're going to have to play a little bit more aggressive, almost similar how to that Team Liquid play style was, where they're just ruthless with the objective, things like that. Shooter is one of those players that does the dirty work, things like that. So I think we talked about Devin and Contra a lot. Shooter, to me, is probably going to be the X factor for Allegiance if they're able to walk away with this one. Falcated, I think he's going to do his thing. He likes to slay a little bit. He can kind of do it all as well, but I'm really looking for Shooter to step up and play big.
Yeah, I mean, Shooter, speaking of him, he obviously got second at the summer finals. He had arguably the best performance of anyone on Enigma 6 at the finals, and that was going up against Optic Gaming, in the championship bracket. So that is Shooter. We already know that he can match up well against these players.
And he had probably the best performance from everyone on his team, even more so than Hook and Kratos and things like that. So yeah, taking a look at a little bit more in depth into Shooter, and that's why I think that Shooter is the big key for Allegiance here, because he's played Optic Gaming so many times on different squads like E6, playing them in LAN, online as well. So he's probably going to be able to give a little bit of intel on what their strategies are going to be or what you can expect. And when you're playing against a team that's been so dominant like Optic Gaming, you have to go up against them a couple of times so you can get a feel for what you're up against, because it's hard to expect that much pressure coming out right from the get-go. So once you've kind of gotten used to getting punished for your mistakes and kind of getting slapped around a little bit, because you're not, playing as good as you should, that's going to be like, okay, I got to shape up here. We all got to be playing our best. We can't expect to just come out here and play like our B+ game. We have to bring our A+ game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this pressure is actually going to fall on Falcated's shoulders. I feel like we know what we can expect from the other 3 players. Like Shooter, I expect him to have a pretty good performance. We've seen it time and time again in this matchup. Contra and Predevinator, they're always fairly consistent, although there were at times where we would see Contra and Predevinator each take turns going off. But Falcated has been a real big X factor here, whether or not he's going to be able to show up. He's got a great shot. He moves really quickly around the map, has a lot of aggression, but you need to be careful, because if you go too fast or try to do something too tricky, you might get punished for it, and nobody's going to do that to you better than Optic.
The beginning of this game is so important. You can't afford to be going up against Optic Gaming and let them get the camo or the railgun for free, or let them get a quick capture. You have to do something in the beginning here to show that you can hang and that you've done your research when it comes to where these guys on Optic are going to go. So I like that Contra is throwing some nades over here towards that treehouse area. It looks like tons of Optic players have gone towards blue treehouse and are making their way over towards top center, and that's 2 kills going over to Devin. That's exactly what Allegiance needed as Contra grabs that railgun.
Right now he is running around with the railgun here, decides to bring it back to his base before playing aggressive. I'd like to see him take this weapon top center, and that is looking like what he's trying to do.
A little bit too passive here with the railgun, and that's what happens when you're going up against a really good team. If he was sitting there playing matchmaking or even playing a normal scrim, I think that he would actually rotate that top center and do the jump. He had numbers. He's literally checking every single corner, so paranoid about dying with this gun. Does get that kill here, but he's gonna have to get a lot more to open this map up for Allegiance, because all of Optic is now filtered towards top center and is already making their way towards the Allegiance base.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing his best to kind of be an anchor here and lock this down, but like you said, I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive. You see Falcated picking up a few kills, and he's just playing so passive that he's gonna have a player behind him before he knows it. Sure enough, World 2 sneaking up here. They don't see him coming. However, there is Shooter protecting him, and he will secure that kill. That's going to be a numbers, a 3v3 situation. Now 2v3. The Allegiance needs to be careful here, pushing in so they don't lose this 2v2. Great job by Contra. Actually steals that kill on Frosty. Oh, was that a double reload?
He accidentally didn't reload the gun there. I'm not sure if he tried to do a YY or something like that or what happened, but that's going to mean the railgun goes over to Optic Gaming, and that's going to be in Snakebite's hands. And one of the things you got to worry about is Snakebite is going to immediately get aggressive towards the objective, but they shut it down on the Allegiance side. So I was a little bit worried for them that he was going to get the kill and make his way towards the base at the same time, but they're fortunate enough to make their way over towards top center and stop that play.
Ooh, and Frosty, Royal 2 not getting the first shot here on Contra. Contra's able to push him back a little bit. Starts pushing up the top center. Royal 2 decides he wants a round 2 here against Contra. They both start shooting each other relatively same time, but Falcated, once again, Allegiance almost out teamworking Optic so far to start this one out.
There has been some nice teamwork coming out from Allegiance, some nice baiting and switching, and you can see that play where Contra had the railgun and then Shooter was baiting him the entire time Royal 2 came up. That's just one of those plays that we're talking about, Shooter knowing a little bit of what the Optic tendencies are. So heads up play coming out from him, and this has been the start that Allegiance needed. And I'd be happy to be a 0-0 game here based on what we've seen so far. And they have opportunities to get some map control here and try to get into the flag here and try to get a pull.
Devastator moving around, locking down this treehouse right now, and you've got Falcated top center with another perfect here. Good. We'll watch this battle unfold real quick. For Devastator shouldn't have any trouble cleaning that up, and in fact, he does not. Now, he looks like Contra gets taken out as Snakebite is in the base and actually has that flag pull out.
After all of this slaying coming out from Allegiance, you now have Snakebite doing the objective and getting inside your base and pulling this flag. And they like to run this one over towards the treehouse and silo area. It's pretty common for them to pull the flag this way. They also like to make their way in towards your own silo for the Optic Gaming side, and that's worrisome for Allegiance because you had really great map control. You had the slays, you just weren't able to get into the base and pull the flag, and Snakebite makes it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, even with those power weapons, they just weren't able to get anything really going. They picked up several different kills, but there was no coordinated push across the map, using the numbers advantage. And, sure enough, Optic Gaming with essentially no power weapons and able to just push across and put that first one in.
Must be nice to be Snakebite right now, just running around the map in circles, capping flags, going for the new flag, not really getting shot at. Finally gets taken down in the engine area, but looks like the second flag is being pulled and it's already pretty far. You have multiple members for Optic Gaming coming back and escorting this one in. Devin's gonna get taken out. There goes the return coming in from Royal 2. This flag is gonna go in. 2-0, hot start for Optic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 8 minutes left in this game, so 4 minutes in so far. Frosty and the rest of Optic Gaming, putting the hurt down here on Allegiance. Like that nade not even bouncing the way he wants it to go back into the base, but a pretty good job. Keeps Falcated alive. Shooter grabs yet another kill.
I think that Frosty was expecting some help from one of his teammates to go and kill that no-shields guy, and the no-shields player ends up living and ends up taking him out in the long run. But Snakebite over here, we saw him sneak in and get that flag pull, get that capture. Now he has the railgun again in his hands, trying to make his way over towards that camouflage, which should have been popped up a while ago. Not sure if anyone was able to grab that one, but either way, Snakebite in prime position here to do some work for Optic Gaming.
Right now, he's just got this treehouse on lockdown as he's moving back and forth, trying to work with his teammates. Falcated not seeing the player in that treehouse. Will get taken out by yet another railgun. What we'll do here is take a quick peek at the stats. Pretty even across the board here is what we're looking at.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that has to stake for Allegiance, because you've been able to hang here and keep up in kills, but it's 2-0 when it comes to the stat line. And you also have a counter pull coming out. So while Snakebite was trying to get that one, Shooter actually had the camouflage and made his way over towards the Optic Gaming base, trying to win that 1v1 against Lethal, but Lethal gets the trade. So gotta like that if you're Optic Gaming, because that was the camouflage players. So they don't get the capture, but they at least stop the counter cap coming out from Allegiance.
Yeah, and I like that play out of Shooter. I think he might have been able to actually pick up that kill without dying. He acted just a tad bit quicker, but either way, he's trying to do what he can. He knew the aggression was in his base and just trying to get a flagpole, trying to bring this one back. And sneaky cap would really help out these guys.
Falcated's up here getting these kills, but the problem is no one's in position to run the flag. So you can sit here and get as many slays as you want if you're Falcated, but until you're able to actually push into the base and get the flag pulled out, it doesn't really matter. So they do finally get that flag pulled out, but they don't even go in there and clear out Frosty, who is crouching over there. He gets one kill, looking to try to get another one, and then Optic Gaming is going to come out, help him out, but Shooter and Devin picking up some kills, so that's really good for Allegiance. Falcated has to get this kill here and stay alive. Another big trade coming out from Lethal. That should slow the momentum for Allegiance.
And that was really unfortunate that nobody spotted Frosty there, because that would have been a flag cap if they were able to kill him before they pulled it. But Frosty going just too clutch here for these guys. Picks up yet another kill here and contesting bottom mid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Contra. He ended up trying to thrust out of the way of the grenade, and then the grenade was behind him, so Frosty played that one perfectly. And it looks like Camouflage coming up here pretty soon. We know that Shooter grabbed that last one, so let's see if Allegiance is on top of the times and able to get another Camouflage in their favor.
Right, and that's going to be Falcated here now with the railgun. Got Shooter running around top center, also on a killing spree, so doing a pretty good job locking that down here.
There's the crossfire right when the Camouflage pops up too, so that one's going to go over in the hands of Optic Gaming, and Royal 2 was the one that picked that one up. So it's a pretty delayed Camouflage, and that's going to be pretty big for the coach to keep track of that one, because it is going to matter for Allegiance. You have to grab that one and get back into the game. You can't afford to give Optic Gaming any power-ups or power weapons when you're down 2-0 to start this game, and 5 minutes left. Haven't gotten a capture yet in the game in 7 minutes played, so got to be a little bit worried here for Allegiance. You got to try to put something together. Maybe just try to escape out of your base and sneak over to get a pull and hope that your teammates get some slays while everything is going down, because the way this one's playing, it looks like Optic Gaming is going to be able to walk away with this one.
Snakebite just running around the front of the base, trying to get in, but Shooter doing a great job flanking around behind these players, picks up a kill. Now you do have Frosty trapped in the base, but he's going to get dropped in a 3v1 situation. Shooter needs to be a distraction as long as possible, but jumps out just a hair too early as Lethal's able to finish off that kill.
That's unfortunate for Shooter, because he's just trying to help a little bit too much, and while all that was going on, he could have sprinted over, tried to get in that 1v1 against Lethal, open up the map, try to get a pull, but instead he's trying to help a little bit too much, and people need to start thinking about getting into the enemy base and capturing the flag here, because time's going to be running out here soon. And again, 8 minutes have passed, still haven't even gotten the flag necessarily past that 50-yard line. And if you're Allegiance, you got to do something. You got to change up what you've been doing this game, because it's not been working.
But now we've got top center control going over in the hands of Allegiance, as well as that new railgun that just came up. Now that's going over to Optic. Predevinator wishing he had his frags out, but it was a plasma instead. Not going to get the bounce he was looking for. And I like what he's trying to do here, crouch around, working with Falcated to get this kill onto Royal 2. They will pick that one up. Lethal, however, also dies to a Splinter Nade. That's going to be 2 dead now for Optic. Snakebite misses the railgun kill, but Pistol is just too good and stops or shuts that one down.
Nice kill from Snakebite. That was the opportunity that Allegiance was looking for. If he could have got that kill, he could have pushed into the base there. So Snakebite back here with that railgun in his hands, and the Camouflage is dropping right now, 2 at the same time. And there you can see it just popped up. Everyone Optic Gaming on top of this one. That one's going to go over to Frosty. Oh, they actually are leaving that one for Snakebite because he has the railgun. So let's see if he's able to secure it eventually. A couple nades coming in and gets picked off. So fantastic play coming out from Allegiance. However, Royal 2 does pull this flag and stays alive at the same time.
All right, now he sees a player, and that's going to be 3 dead now for Allegiance. All 4 up for Optic Gaming. That's about all she wrote here for game number 1. Is who is that player trying to do all they can? Stays alive for a moment, but a double return, and that last flag goes in. That's going to be game number 1, 3-0 victory, Optic Gaming.
Fairly even game again. It's just Allegiance, they don't have much objective work besides shooter, in my opinion. Yeah, Contra and Devin, they can get the job done, but I look at them more as slayers. So there was times where I felt like Falcade maybe could have pushed in from top center and sacrificed a little bit of control to go in there and get the flag, but either way, you're going up against Optic Gaming. It's going to be very, very tough unless you end up playing perfectly. And we saw, Contra playing a little bit too passive with the railgun, them not getting aggressive enough with the objective. And all in all, that game, even though it lasted a while, it wasn't necessarily close.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did you see anyone from Allegiance, having 2 to 3 players front of the base just pushing in for a flag? You never did. All you saw was one player maybe sneak by to get a flagpole. And you can just tell the organization between these guys is just not the same. Yeah, I mean, Contra in that beginning, picking up 2 different kills with your teammates grabbing some. Falcated was grabbing a lot too. If you see 2 dead, you need to immediately take the battle to the other side of the map.
You can't play scared. You can't play scared or play different because you're going up against a team that in your head is more superior, far more superior than you. You have to come out more confident than ever. You have to believe in yourself more than ever, and that's how you're going to win against Optic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at when Liquid had that amazing performance against them. They weren't able to defeat them, but you had Spartan and the rest of Liquid, 2, 3 guys running around top center and they're wide open, just chucking nades, picking up double kills, and that's not what we saw from Allegiance. It looked like every one of their kills was like a hard-fought kill where there was a, kind of little bit of a break almost after the kill where they're waiting for their shields to come back rather than jumping out, following a teammate no shields, and just keeping Optic on spawn.
So now it's all about the weapons for Allegiance. They have to go in there. They have to get this sniper rifle right from the get-go out of these hands of the Optic Gaming players who are fantastic, especially Royal 2 with the sniper. But it looks like PJ Snakebite is going to grab that overshield right under Falcated's nose, picks that one up right around 47, and that's exactly what you wanted for Optic Gaming.
Oh, God.
You got Royal 2 with the sniper rifle, you got Snakebite, aggressive player with the overshield, and this is going to be a disaster for Allegiance.
And I can't believe Royal 2 didn't hit that headshot. What is he doing? That was
trash.
Snake Frosty would have had that one.
No, Royal 2 definitely one of the best snipers in Halo 5, if not the best, and he's really great at rotating as well. You'll see, he's holding this angle, but I don't think he's going to stay here for very long. He'll eventually probably move into a position that will be a little bit more unpredictable, and then he'll continue to just feel very comfortable because his teammates fill the map very well. And that's one of the best things when you're a sniper rifle, when you're a sniper player, is you have that sniper rifle in your hand and you're not worried about watching your back, so you can just focus on your shots. It's pretty much a dream.
Right, and this is really interesting strategy, how much action is going on over here and top of the driveway there. Royal 2 hitting a good body shot on the player light rifle. Frosty with an awesome angle to cut these players off, and it doesn't matter where the action's taking place, Optic Gaming's all over it.
What is this, Royal 2 missing shots? I'm not used to seeing this. Oh, come on, Royal 2.
Oh.
That's just not the Royal 2 that I know. I'm just kidding. But that was what we were talking about. That's the rotations coming in there for Optic Gaming. Eventually, they wanted to skedaddle out of that yard area and try to spread out. They weren't expecting Allegiance to continue to get aggressive on that one, and they have multiple setups on this map. Nice Spartan charge coming out from Contra. Lethal getting that kill onto Contra. Nice little trade there, but this has been a pretty decent start coming out for Allegiance considering that they didn't get the overshield or the sniper rifle to boot. So let's see if they're able to continue to at least try to trade kills here. Nice kill from Devin goes, and also at the same time overshield was burned coming out from the side of Allegiance. So, nice job by them at least putting up a fight here. Oh, there's the overshield, okay. So it looks like they're grabbing the overshield right now, but I think that one was going to get burned. A little awkward silence for you guys at home.
Blue team.
Right, but I did want to point out, as troll as Lethal's Spartan charge just looked a moment ago, I'm pretty sure he was going to die regardless, so actually taking that player to no shield was pretty much the best thing he could do. So as funny as it was watching him kind of do a 180 and just run the opposite direction from getting shot at, it worked out in Optic's favor.
definitely one of the things that you got to keep in mind is you want to try to take players down to no shields even if you're about to die. So getting that melee off or getting a death grenade or something like that, that's huge because you can see, even if you just trade kills, that's completely fine. It's all about how much damage you can do while taking as much damage as you can while staying alive. That's what Halo's all about, trying to fill the map and take positions and also communication here. So let's see if Optic Gaming's able to communicate that Frosty has that sniper rifle and they watch his back. They need to watch the posters area. They need to make sure that they're in the hotel area as well. And Frosty not feeling very comfortable here, so he's going to rotate out of there. But I do like that rotation coming out from Snakebite as well. He's trying to get over towards top center and make his way over towards the posters, but that's where everyone for Allegiance looks like they want to focus towards getting positioning and try to charge over there from the stairs. But nice shot onto Frosty. He's going to slow down Contra. That's Cody, as you can see in the player outlines. But the sniper rifle was actually blocking Contra from actually clambering up. So that's a little bit unfortunate coming out for Optic Gaming and Frosty. And again, they didn't have anyone to rotate over from the posters.
Right now, still 1 kill lead here. You got players all over the map, really split up here. 2 in Yard, 2 over by Nest. You got 2 in Flowers for Optic, 2 over going to contest these players. Now let's take a look here. Contra's creeping around, does not know that there's 2 players bottom lip. It'll be interesting when Snakebite lifts up, which he in fact does just now, and grabs that kill.
Perfect timing, especially with the overshield coming up here any second. I think it was burned around like 43 or 44 previously, and there go the Slades in Optic Gaming's favor. They have that sniper rifle, they have position to get the overshield. However, Allegiance was able to keep this game close even after the first round of power-ups and power weapons went into Optic Gaming's favor. So if they're able to continue to do so, they're going to make this game close, and that's pretty much all you can ask for after that first game being a little bit one-sided.
Ooh, a lot of action going on here in Shotgun. Lethal's able to secure the kill there. Still 2 kill lead. Good rotations from Frosty, although he did not spot this player. It's about to be right in front of him. Of course, he does hit the body shot. No surprise there. Royal 2 now grabbing a quick double kill. That's going to be map control now pushing over to the favor of Optic.
And Falcade only 2 kills so far, and this game's pretty much halfway through. So if you're Allegiance, you got to try to rally behind him and try to get him going here. He's one of the up-and-coming players, young gun, really great slayer. So you want to see him over towards the top of that stat line, and you got to try to get this sniper rifle out of Frosty's hands. We've already seen him get really close on a couple headshots, and if he's able to start heating up and start getting into true Frosty form, this is going to get really ugly pretty quickly here for Allegiance.
Now, he only has 2 shots left in this weapon. Decides he is going to take a new angle. Everyone pretty much understood that he was sniping from that position and nobody was going to give up a free kill there. Now, nobody knows he is top gold here quite yet, although you've got Mike over there in the corner looking for these players top gold. We'll start getting some shots down here. That will force Frosty to go in back up. You wouldn't be surprised if he goes right back to his old position. He's just so good at finding these new angles every single time.
Yeah, this is prime. 2 shots left. 15 seconds until the next sniper rifle comes up. Got to make sure that you're staying alive for the overshield that drops around 5:45 as well. Not sure exactly when that one's up. It's going to be between 40 and 45. And there's the nade. That's a really nice nade over there, but it's too early. That one actually, if you throw it further, if you look up a little bit higher, you can blow that sniper rifle back over towards the bottom of the stairs and the soda area. So I'd like to see that one come out a little bit. But either way, nice body shot onto Devin. That's going to build the lead a little bit. And now immediately pushing over there towards the nest. But here comes a stick from Shooter across the map.
And that's going to be a Snakebite grabbing the new overshield here. Does get bodied twice by Balcated. It's a pretty good job by him. Last shot by that sniper, Frosty's old one, is going to be used. No kills there. But Devonator, PJ or Snakebite's trying to collapse on him. Still has full health, just a pair of overshield left. But essentially should be waiting for his teammates now and making sure they grab that old sniper they took out.
Again, I'm so impressed with how close Allegiance has kept this one. Yeah, it could get out of hand really quickly if they all die in the yard area here, but and that's going to happen right when I'm talking about it. But they've done a really good job of keeping this one close, and it's only an 8-kill game here. They're going to get some decent spawns, hopefully. They get that back wall spawn. They need to rotate up the lift and get to nest ASAP, and then try to still hold this blue area. At least maybe keep one person over there to keep Optic from rotating over there and getting more control. So it's not the end of the world here for Allegiance, but you definitely got to focus Royal 2 here.
Ooh, and Royal 2, they definitely were trying to use that focus. He almost got dropped, but Frosty, Royal 2, both these guys so good at just backing down and never giving up those free deaths.
Yeah, gets hit with a nade, so they're definitely on to where Royal 2 and Frosty, the rest of this Optic squad, likes to snipe here. This is a big kill for Contra. If he can get it, he's immediately charging because he knows how important it is. Got to get that sniper out of Royal 2's hands. Only 2 bullets left in it. Contra's going to be able to grab this one. It's a 6-kill game here. Definitely doable for Allegiance, and you got to get over towards that snipe area, though, if you're Contra. However, it looks like he does have information from Devin that Devin wants help on this player running into the yard from the flowers, but I wouldn't even challenge this. I would just be backing off here. It's a little bit of a trap Optic Gaming setting up, and it looks like Contra and the rest of this Allegiance squad's taking the bait. Got to rotate the sniper back over. As soon as he sees that Devin spawns over there, that's when he feels comfortable, and then wastes that one shot. Only one more bullet here, so not ideal coming out for Contra and Allegiance. Overshield coming up here soon, though, and they do have position.
Ooh, but they will grab that kill on Shooter. New Overshield, like you said, is coming up. They're in pretty good position. Nobody helping out on Hotel. That's going to be Frosty picking up a kill on Predevinator. Lethal picking up a trade. That's not what you want to see here in this situation.
Contra has full overshield, but a little bit concerned on where everyone in Optic Gaming is located because his teammates haven't given him the necessary information, and now his overshield is just going to slowly get depleted. So maybe get a little bit more aggressive here, because now you're just slowly going to get picked apart from Optic Gaming, and there goes all your overshield. He's taken down to no shields and gets triple teamed. So fantastic communication coming out from the green wall.
And wow, what teamwork from them to actually secure that overshield kill. Like, Contra was literally not able to do anything. He became priority number 1. And look at this lead after gaining that overshield was actually, just got bigger after they grabbed it.
Royal 2 in a pretty sneaky position here, especially considering a couple of his teammates died, but it looks like the information has been called out for Optic Gaming, and all the players for Allegiance besides this one Devin is in front of Royal 2. They're all making their way over towards that nest area, so nice job by Royal 2 being unpredictable, making his way over towards that yard, trying to secure only 2 more kills here for Optic Gaming to go up 2-0 in the series. Next kill is going to be able to win. They should be able to lock this one down and move up, and it's going to end with a Spartan charge right into Falcated's back.
Right, let's take a look at some of these stats here. No surprise, Snakebite leading the pack, 15 kills, 10 assists. He's just so aggressive and so good on the opposite end. I kind of said it before, I think Falcated's going to be one of those X factors, and he was not able to perform against these guys. This is not a team where, no matter how good your shot is, if you get double teamed, you're not going to win those battles.
Falcated with 3-13, and I believe they lost that by 10, and he went -10. So maybe a little bit nervous there, and that's something to keep in mind is Falcated, he wasn't in the Pro League last season. He was, an up-and-coming amateur player. He tried out for the original Optic Gaming that was with Flame Sword and Maniac and Ace and those guys. They ended up going with, I think it was, instead of Falcated, that's when they went with
Stellar.
Chaser and Lifestyle at the time. So that was back right before the Halo World Championships and before all the qualification happened for this whole Pro League, and Falcade was in the conversation with being there, but now he's in that conversation here in the fall season and not living up to his expectations. But that just comes down to not being familiar with how Optic Gaming plays. Again, you're being taken from that open circuit, plugged in here in the Pro League, have been playing pretty decently, but when you go up against a team like Optic Gaming compared to, say, like Team Liquid or E6, even though those teams are capable of beating Optic Gaming, it's not the same caliber, especially when Optic's coming off a loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's like college football. You've got the Tim Tebows, you've got the Johnny Manziels, but they just don't perform when you go up and you play Pro League. No matter how good you are, no matter how many shots you hit, sick clips you pull off, sometimes you just can't do it if the other team is equally as good, if not better than you. If you don't know how to use teamwork and outsmart the enemy team or use your teammates' positioning to your advantage, and one of the big question marks in my head as well is his communication. We've seen and had attitude problems with a lot of players from the open circuit. You watch the different streams.
A lot of the young guys have that same problem that Maniac was talking about, being a little bit cocky. But Falcated's communication, it's not the best. He's still got a lot of work to do. I wouldn't compare him to Tim Tebow or Johnny Manziel because those guys aren't around anymore. Tim Tebow trying to do his baseball thing, and who knows what Johnny Manziel is doing. But yeah, I mean, Falcated, he's got a long way to go still a lot of learning for him. Contra and Devin are they're pretty seasoned players, they're pretty experienced players, but they haven't necessarily, strung together any wins or anything like that, or even walked away with any single wins themselves. So they need, veteran leadership on that team. Is Shooter going to be the guy that's going to rally these guys in game now and say, hey guys, let's brush these 2 losses off. Let's focus on our best. Let's focus on our best game type, which is strongholds, and let's try to take it to Optic on one of Optic's strongest game types and maps as well.
Right, now I say we go ahead and kick this one off now with Frosty, as we saw him jumping around, doing some awesome things last game. Like to see what he's able to do here. This is Empire Strongholds. It is, you know, in our opinion, Tom and I, it's going to benefit Optic here, but a lot of it's going to be opening strategies as well. Who's going to be able to grab what kind of control?
Look how comfortable Frosty is. Knows exactly where all 4 of his teammates are going to go in the beginning. They get an entire team kill onto that Allegiance squad, and this is a disastrous start if you are on the Allegiance side of things. And this is a dream beginning for Optic Gaming. They are the kings of the triple cap. We saw it yesterday where they did fall to Envious, but they were able to get a triple cap for quite some time here. And if your Legion's already down 2-0 in the series, you have to formulate a plan ASAP.
Ooh, but Pit is going over pretty quickly. You got Contra immediately pushed over for that hill. A couple different kills, but there is going to be a reset here. That's a double now for Predominator. He's trying to do what he can. Sees a third member.
Oh, Frosty with the ninja, getting the ground pound and then getting the double kill onto Devin. Devin was looking for his own triple kill, and that is a little bit embarrassing for our boy Devin. That is definitely unfortunate.
Devin,
to be
I'm sorry I had that on your point of view, but yeah, I mean, that's nothing but a ground pound into a ninja we just saw from Frosty. And Frosty looks like something must be wrong with his controller, a little bit of malfunction, just keeps going up and down.
Yeah, I think he was practicing his squats, working on his glutes or something like that. Frosty is a skinny guy, so I don't blame him. But either way, Shooter getting over there and clearing him out of that security area. Maybe trying to get some sort of momentum here for the Allegiance side, because this has definitely been a disastrous beginning for them. Now, the Overshield is coming up here soon. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a couple points, but the side base is going to go back over to Optic eventually. The main thing is for these guys is eventually trying to get that pit area, but at least trying to just set up outside for the Overshield, because if you have outside control, you have control of this game.
And just what a great job by Royal 2. Almost got that triple kill. That would have been dirty. You got Snakebite running around with this saw here
just a
as
montage
well.
Every time we go onto someone from Optic's stream.
About to be another triple cap if I had to guess it momentarily. You got the split spawns. Snakebite jumps in this hill. Nobody's able to contest, and he's already got a teammate there. That's Frosty. Frosty's just everywhere all the time.
They're not even worried about the Overshield. They're just so confident that they have the spawns under control that they're even going to go for that side base, and then they make their way out towards the Overshield perfectly. And
we can challenge 3 players.
You can just see, I mean, he has the Overshield, so why not? So fantastic play coming out from these guys, and you can just force them inside the base. Just have to come out here. You don't even have to get aggressive. Just sit there, set up, play patient, and Frosty's just being a nuisance here. You'll see him just try to get in there, lay as much damage as he can, and then just immediately get out of there and relay that information over to his Optic Gaming teammates. And look at that, 2 players down to no shields, gets 1, calls out the other guy. That player's in the pit by himself, so it's going to be pretty hard for these guys to do anything. And it's very rarely that we see the bull shot used, but Frosty bringing it to life here.
And look at that map movement and rotations. Allegiance just can't even keep up with where he's going.
Yeah, Royal 2 picking up a double kill. That's going to be 3 kills going over to Snakebite and this Optic Gaming squad. And this is going to get ugly again for Allegiance. This is going up against an Optic Gaming team who is furious after their Game 5 loss yesterday to Envy. Allegiance sitting in 7th place, 1-4. It's going to be so tough for them to come back here. This is going to be, if they come back, it's going to have to be the best Halo they've ever played here, because the momentum is just so heavily in Optic Gaming side.
Right, and being down 2-0 and trying to continue that momentum for 3 games is a whole another story. Frosty just running around getting to do essentially whatever he wants to. However, did Snakebite just get a double barrel explosion?
and then he decided to kill himself afterwards. I guess he decided, hey, I'll get a double barrel kill. I'll just jump off the map, get the triple kill. But here comes a potential another triple capture coming out from Optic Gaming. Royal 2, I like that he backed down from that fight. So nice shots coming out from Shooter, or from Contra over there to back him down, but either way, Snakebite comes in with the help, and this is Optic Gaming at their best.
All right, now I like this from Frosty. Really good awareness of what's happening on the map and what's...
Oh, geez, this is just... They're just putting on a show and just embarrassing these guys at this point. Like, it's getting a little bit ugly. Sorry if you're a Allegiance fan watching this one. They're just having fun on the Optic Gaming side now, and you can see Frosty over here with this saw. May not even use it. May just try to go for another ninja.
When you purposely put your back to a player with every intention of going for a ninja immediately, that's when you're taking Halo 5 to the next level, taking melees to the next level. Like, he could have just looked forward and traded a melee with that player, but that's going to leave you know, whoever hits that headshot is whoever wins the battle. But if you jump over someone's head and get a melee, whether or not you
look at that, they can't even get into the pit when it's a sliver away. All the hopes and dreams have just come down burning right in Allegiance's face. And Optic Gaming just putting on a show today, showing why they deserve to be back up in that conversation with Envy and trying to bounce back after that rough loss yesterday against a team who's struggling to find their confidence.
And speaking that Frosty shot shooter one time and threw a Dave and was able to just grab yet another kill. I mean, that's just insane. Triple cap that will stop the bleeding. However, it's still going to be time going in Optic Gaming's favor. Really doesn't look like Allegiance is able to kind of grab any sort of control. They have to start jumping in pit right now, get at least 2 members in there. It really does not look like it's going to happen.
I mean, this game was over after they lost Plaza Slayer, and once they start, even after the first game when they really started to play a little bit conservative, you saw, you know, Falcated there gets 9 kills, but I mean, the series was virtually over after the second game because you're down 2-0 to Optic Gaming. You're going against them in one of their best game types, and it doesn't get, you know, much harder than that. It doesn't get much more difficult than that. You really have to come out right from the get-go, play your game against these guys, play confident against these guys. We saw some people second-guessing themselves with the weapons. We saw them not get aggressive with the objective. Multiple ninjas coming out from Frosty, and that's pretty much it.
And yeah, I mean, that's also, gosh, Frosty, he's such a little
jerk,
ninja, jerk, booger, whatever you want to call him. But the things he going for that play just kind of tilts me a little bit, just watching what he's thinking in his head.
That's definitely a cocky play. It's definitely a little bit of a jerk thing to do. But hey, you know what? He's putting on a show, man, and you got to appreciate that if you're watching, and especially if you're an Optic Gaming fan, because they really established their dominance there. They showed that, hey, even though Allegiance, their record was, you know, 1-4 with all these Game 5 losses, we're not even in the same discussion over here as this Optic Gaming squad that continues to just show dominance.
And, you know, kind of just brings up the radar point as well. You know, it's always been a really controversial issue, but that's what you can do when you have radar. You can put your head down and stare at a wall and actually plan a ninja based on, you know, whether or not the player is walking or actually going with sprint. Yeah. And when that player is sprinting, his only melee opportunity is a charge that is easily able to jump over. And when you're so close to a corner like that, you can pull off some ridiculous stuff.
Let's not talk about radar. You're lucky I'm under contract. Okay, I got a lot of stuff to say, but either way, Halo 5 still is a very competitive game. There's a lot to be said about, you know, improving it continuously with the radar and things like that. Hopefully eventually, but either way, I don't think that would change that Envy and Optic Gaming are still these two teams going neck and neck that are looking like the strongest squads. And then the other conversation is who's going to start to emerge? Is it going to be Liquid? Is it going to be Luminosity? Who's going to come up there? Is it going to be Evil Geniuses? I don't know. It remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure is that Optic Gaming is establishing dominance against these teams, you know, at the bottom.
All right, then, of course, that is a quick 3-0 victory here from Optic Gaming, and we're going to have another winner view coming up just now here as well.
Got Royal 2, I think. I think we got Royal 2 today. So
somebody we haven't heard from in quite some time as well. And there he is.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, guys. Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing good. So you guys came out hot today, man. 3-0 going up against Allegiance. And Allegiance, they've had a handful of Game 5 losses, but you guys didn't make this series close. Were you guys coming out today just super mad from your loss yesterday against Envy?
Honestly, I think we were pretty pissed about yesterday's performance and our loss. So I think we just wanted to show how good we are and just do the best we can versus them.
Were you a little bit surprised when you saw the map selection? You know, Empire Strongholds, maybe people are looking at it and seeing that you guys were 0-2 in it. But to me, I think that that's probably one of your guys' strongest game types. Were you surprised to see that one pop up?
Yeah, we were pretty surprised. Also, the fly game, they gave us Coliseum. I know we're on blue side, so some people think they can beat us on blue side Collie, but the fact that they gave us Coliseum and Empire was pretty surprising. So, yeah.
All right. Now, of course, we haven't heard from you in quite some time, and your guys especially have had a lot going on within your team and orgs and everything like that. I've seen a lot of discussion on the forums, Lethal, Snakebite popping in there as well. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in your situation and what you have going forward.
Really just nothing much. I just try to stay away from the forums and all that, and just we got through all the team changes because I know the forums can get to our heads because I know everyone, like all pro players, they probably say, oh, I don't really check it, but reading that stuff can honestly like affect you. So I just stay away from that and just trying to focus on my own game
Well, I mean, you got
and
Lethal on
my
your
own
team.
lovely internet.
Yeah, Lethal's a walking forum, so if you need anything when it comes to finding out that information, I'm sure you can go right to him. So let's talk a little bit about, last season and then this season. Now, we're obviously in a time now where the competition has really, came to the top. What are you guys going to do to make sure, whether that's scrims or whatever it may be, practicing a little bit more, what are you guys going to do to make sure that you continue to try to be that #1 team?
I think just constantly critiquing our own gameplay. I know we practice pretty much 6 to 7 days a week. We take no days off. So I think if we just keep breaking down each game type, how we did in like the past weeks, I think we'll see. We've already seen major improvements from like the last week. So I think coming into this event, we should be fully prepared. If we just keep going over all of our mistakes we're making.
And then what do we have to look forward to next time you match up against Envy and EG, these two teams that have defeated you guys early on?
I'm expecting another close match. They're like an extremely good team, but I mean, hopefully we can actually get a victory because I cannot stand losing again. So
Good deal. Well, Royal 2, congratulations on a convincing 3-0 defeat here, or victory, excuse me, on Allegiance. And best luck to you guys after this long break, as I don't anticipate we're going to be seeing any team changes from you guys.
yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks. All right, Optic Gaming coming out and proving that they are not out yet. They still have what it takes.
Yeah, they're not out. They're definitely not out. But yeah, you heard it from Royalty himself. They're not happy. They want to prove how good they are. And I was talking about before the series even started that if Allegiance continues to make this close, if it goes to 5 games, even if it's a 3-1, that's not good for Optic Gaming. They have to go out there and establish dominance and continue to show, like, hey, we're only going to drop games to teams like Envy, to EG, maybe these other teams like Liquid or Luminosity, depending on how good they continue to play. But that's definitely a good sign for Optic Gaming fans that they came out hot and hungry today.
Yeah, and their map win ratio is so low right now, they can't afford to keep having any of these close games slip by. But of course, if you did like what you watched and you want to go rewatch any of the matches here from any of the weeks of the Pro League, you can always head over to youtube.com/ESL Halo. All of those VODs will be uploaded there. Now, of course, that does it for match number 2. We still got a lot of exciting action with Enigma 6 and Team Envious coming up right after this short break.